Divorce mediation is one of the processes by which you can end up with an agreed divorce decree. A mediator is a neutral third party who cannot give legal advice but can assist couples in resolving their conflict. These folks are most often, or many times, attorneys, sometimes they're mental health professionals. We have a wide variety of certifications, and there's not one that is ordained by the state. So there's many organizations that offer mediation certifications and training, but a divorce mediator is somebody who basically holds themselves out as having expertise in family law and in dividing assets and helping parents come up with a parenting plan. There are some mediators, probably more in urban areas, who only do divorce mediation, and there are classes in divorce mediation, but there's some mediators who do divorce mediation along with construction mediation and business mediation and other issues. It's a process for resolving conflict, for trying to find a solution where people are stuck. Most of the mediators I know, and I'm a mediator myself, require that attorneys, if they're not present, sign off on mediated agreements, because if you're the mediator, you cannot give legal advice, and you may be a part of something where, as the mediator, you can't say, this is a really bad deal, but you want to make sure that the clients are protected, and so that's what their individual attorneys are for. It's most often, the practice I am most familiar with is that the lawyers are there actually at mediation, so that you don't have to call them, so that you don't think you have a deal and it gets undone. But they are a necessary part of mediation for many mediators. I mean, it's a requirement for many mediators. Not all, so if folks find somebody that will do that, then that's great. The mediator will write up the mediated agreement, but not necessarily the divorce decree. Someone else has to do the divorce decree. Hence, you're going to have a lawyer somewhere doing that. And whether a lawyer would take a mediated agreement without asking a bunch of other questions and knowing that no other attorneys have been involved is something you just have to check out with the individual mediators. It's a good process for helping people get unstuck. A lot of times, by the time couples decide to divorce, people are dug in. They're in the trenches with what they want, and it's very difficult for them to see their way out, for them to imagine themselves 5 years down the road and how's this going to work and how are we going to work together. They're just stuck with their current pain and angry feelings and oftentimes years of that. So in mediation, a mediator can kind of cut through that to try to help people, and facilitation is a good word. How can I say what I need to say in a way that the other side can hear it? In many ways, it's kind of a communication coach. If folks can reach an agreement in mediation, in my experience, they're more likely to live with that. If you participated in the solution, then you're more invested in it working. And therefore, you're not going to be one of those couples who drags each other back to court every year until the child is 18, and that's usually the the folks who keep going back to court, because in property settlements, without fraud or something, some other circumstances, whatever deal you make, you're stuck with that deal. So mediation, I think, particularly where kids are involved, is a good problem-solving technique, and it's been around long enough that there are a number of mediators, good mediators, who can help people work through their differences. I would say one other thing about the process. In Texas, for the most part, they use something called caucus, which means that the mediator is going back and forth between two rooms. They don't often sit at the same table together. In other states that I have worked in, they try for the most part to sit at the same table and work things out using a set of rules to keep behaviors in control. And caucusing is the rare event, not the common event. But in Texas, the most common practice is for the mediator to go from room to room and back and forth, offering deals and counter offers until they get something, a solution worked out. They can, one of our area counties will order mediation prior to giving you a temporary orders hearing date and prior to a final decree of divorce, a final divorce hearing. So if you want the court's time, you're going to have gone to mediation twice in order for the court to give you their time.